All right, Shalom.
One.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai, Bahashem,
Bahashem, Rachakwadash.
Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone, Houston and Dallas camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and we got the brother
Asmawah Shalom.
Shalom. And hey, we want to get the work in before we get our day started. And me and brother trying to just figure out what to go into. And the chapter that the Lord pinpointed is Jeremiah 28. And which although this chapter happened back then, but it have the same similarities of events that's going to take place today. Because when you go into Jeremiah 28, you had this false prophet named Hananiah, and then in front of all Israel in the temple, Hananiah came against the message of Jeremiah. You see, in front of everybody, the priests, so on and so forth. But the point is, at the end of the chapter, who was found out to be true? Who was found out to have the correct message of the Heavenly Father? And that's what we're seeing in this time. This Jeremiah 28 going to play out. It's playing out again. Because you have these other prophets, false prophets, as in IUIC, ISUPK, GOCC, even within outside of Israel, even in the Christian world, these other beliefs. But ultimately, who is the Heavenly Father, the God of heaven and earth, the true living power? Who is he speaking through? That's the question. Who have the true message? And as events play out, we gonna see who have the true message, man. And it's not nothing that first time happening within our nation either. You had Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. When they was trying to tell Moses, look, Moses, the Lord don't just deal with you. We are Israelites. We leaders too. People know us too, Moses. You can't just be the only leader. But in fact, him and Aaron was the only leaders. That's how the Lord set it up. That's who he was dealing with. It ain't a thing of just because you want to start a camp and now you got subscribers and followers, now you one of the leaders, you one of the prophets. No, it's a specific way the Lord want his believers to come through, and it's through a group of men that he passed the message to, man. That's it. Everybody can't be a leader. Everybody can't be the prophets, but we go find out when all this play out, who is the Lord truly dealing with, man? Who message line up with prophecy? You got anything out?
God, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Yeah, and as the preacher is going into, man, these same things are playing out in these times, just as we're about to go into that account in Jeremiah 28, all right, concerning Jeremiah, giving the true prophecy, and then against Hananiah giving that false prophecy, giving Jake, those soothing, itching, or those soothing words that he wanted to hear. Well, the reason why these things are playing out in these times all over again is because those same individuals are back. Okay, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. That's just not only the true prophets, as also goes on the left-hand side as well. The false prophets, man. Everybody's settled in their lots right now here in these times, and it's being made known, okay, by what you believe and what you teach.
Mm-hmm. I got a quick one, and we can get to that Jeremiah 28. This Malachi chapter 3 and verse 18. Because it's ultimately what this chapter going into. Malachi 3 and 18, it says, "Then shall you return," and we all return. Like it said in Baruch, we return in the land of our captivities. So after we found out we are Israelites again, what's the next step? We got to find out who the Lord actually speaking through. Because it says, Malachi 3 and 18, "Then shall you return." And the next step is, "and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not." So that's also what we got to see right now. And remember, it's a lot of groups, a lot of people that call themselves Israelites, prophets, whether it's a big group or, smaller groups or just one person. There's a lot of people in these times out there with YouTube pages prophesying, talking about the MOTB and going into World War III, all these things. But it's like, for example, IUIC, they doing all the videos. They seem like they got it, but they telling you the MOTB is not to see him. That's a grave mistake. That's life and death right there. You have one body. Well, one body. They still in Dallas. They still.
Yeah, they in Dallas. They
Yeah,
just call themselves one body.
you got one body who don't believe in miracles, so on and so forth. Talking about Yahweh Shai ain't coming to no cherries. It ain't no miracles. I wonder what they think about the little drone situation, But the point is, eventually by man's message, you're gonna see that the Lord, if he dealing with him and if he not, and what it say, try the spirit by the spirit, if any man serve the Lord. And when you go into this, Jeremiah in Jeremiah 28, he checked Hananiah by the spirit and said, look, all the prophets who came before us, they ain't never talk about what you talking about. Even in the beginning, Enoch, he was talking about destruction of the Lord coming back and killing niggas, man. The message of the prophets ain't just no now it is comfort and it is good news, but it ain't just no a love story, man. It said in Ezekiel that this book is full of lamentations, mournings, and woe. That's what the prophets here to tell people the truth, whether they like it or not. You got something up?
Okay. Just real quick, Exodus 23:1. It says, "Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness." And the point on this, for bringing it out, okay, is the first part of this verse. It says, "Thou shalt not raise a false report." Okay, because that's what these men are doing. All these other camps, man, that's not bringing forth, okay, this correct doctrine. Breaking down diligently and correctly and concisely what the MOTB is, especially the names of Yahweh, okay, the names of the Most High, Yahweh and His Son, Yahweh Shah. All right, anything outside of that, you're raising a false report, and that's actually a capital punishment according to our law. All right, now it makes me think about during the time of the wilderness. Once we were about to go into the promised land, okay, you had Joshua and Caleb, and you had those other 10 spies. Those other 10 spies brought forth a false report. Okay, saying that, man, these people, those inhabitants in the land, they too big. We can't win. They're gonna eat us alive. We're like grasshoppers in their sight. And Jake, when they came back with that report, okay, most of the congregation of Israel, they was down with it. And then they bait of stoning Joshua and Caleb for bringing the true report, the correct report. And that's exactly how it is in these times. Like, you get hated on and hated, and your life is plotted against because you bring in, okay, the correct report. As Elder Yashwamba say, it's a tight message, but it's right. Even though Joshua and Caleb brought forth that good report, it was tight for Jake. Why? Because it basically involved Jake having to be on his shit, man, get right. Because Joshua and Caleb says only if we are righteous in the sight of the Lord, that's when He'll fight for us. But Jake want to continue to do all this wickedness and the Lord still be with them. It don't work that way, man. So this is why they cleave into these other camps, because it doesn't really prompt you to change internally, man.
Sure. Yeah, we can get in that Jeremiah 28.
This Jeremiah 28 from the top. And it says, "And it came to pass the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month, that Hananiah, the son of Azur, the prophet, which was of Gibeon, spake unto me in the house of the Lord Yahweh, in the presence of the priests and of all the people, saying." Right.
So in other words, this a false prophet Hananiah, and he calling Jeremiah out in front of everybody. Jeremiah said they was in the temple. He called them out, like it said right here in the NLT. He addressed me publicly in the temple while all the priests and people listen. So that's modern day. When Bishop Nate or these groups post a video up on the YouTube, and outright give their doctrine, say their doctrine or whatever, right? You got it out.
Verse 2 says, "Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shah hosts, the power of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 full years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of the Lord's house that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place, and carried them to Babylon. And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with all the captives of Judah that went into Babylon, saith the Lord, for I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon."
Right. So think about what Hananiah just said. Now, mind you, Nebuchadnezzar just came and took a good portion of our people into the Babylonian captivity. Well, you had this guy Hananiah come and say, look, Yahweh came and spoke to me and told me that he was going to make Nebuchadnezzar bring all the gold back, all the silver back that he took from the temple, and Yahweh, because he said the name, right? And Yahweh told me that Nebuchadnezzar going to bring back King Jehoiakim, all the people that went with him, and all the captives. You see? It sound good. It sound good. Like ISUPK. It ain't gonna be no Jacob Trouble. IUIC, it ain't, well, now they saying it's gonna be Jacob Trouble, but those things sound good. You know, they got a message of it's tickling their fancy. It sound good to the ears.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody watching, he probably, you know, because it said the priests and people was watching, so they probably like, yeah, oh, he gonna bring her back. You know, some of their family probably went. They got happy about that message. But let's see if it was true though. Did the Lord say that? You have something?
Yeah, quick one. Jeremiah 23 and 25. I have heard what the prophets said that prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. You see?
Yep.
So, you know, hey, Jeremiah 23, hey, that's a, man, this chapter, bro, when you truly analyze this chapter, if you got the Spirit dealing with you, man, you see who this applies to, man. This applies to most of these camps out here, man. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of them even using the names of, you know, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. But how much more, you know, as concerning the, well, we're not really going specifically into, you know, IUIC right now in this lesson, but here as of late, they've been kind of been like the flavor of the week. You know, now they trying to go into these different commentaries and say, oh, well, see, this was the mark of the beast during the time of need. Mm-hmm. Like, listen, man, see, the thing is, they're not even using the correct names. But yet Jake is still believing them. They're using, okay, the same names that your oppressor gave you, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, calling up on Jesus, Most High and Christ blessed, man. You know, so hell no, we ain't going to believe you, man. Okay. So, but yeah, that's why Yahweh shall also said, for many shall say, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in thy name? In thy name do many great miracles and wonders, you know, but he says, well, I never knew you, man. You know, so just as Hananiah here is using the name Yahweh, you know, that doesn't mean anything, man. Okay, it comes, not just only do we have the true names, but it's given unto us a doctrine, that correct doctrine to follow, man. That's what Yahweh Shah gave us in John 17. You know, he gave us the name of the Heavenly Father and his Son and the doctrine. That's what sanctifies the elect, man. But yeah, I just wanted to get that.
Oh, that's it. That's it. You got it.
Jeremiah 28 and verse 4, it says, I will bring again to this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with all the captives of Judah that went into Babylon, saith the Lord. Mm-hmm. For I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Verse 5, then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of the priests and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Lord Yahweh.
So Jeremiah did a response video right here. You know, you got to speak in modern times. Jeremiah, he doing a response video. He about to respond. Now, mind you, all Israel looking. They in the temple right here. The priests watching and listening. The high priest watching and listening. You got people in the temple, Israel watching and listening. Everybody paying attention to these two prophets go back and forth. But who is the Lord dealing with? Now, Hananiah, what he said sound good. But let's see what Jeremiah got to say.
Verse 6. Even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. Yahweh do so.
Yeah, you see, he said all praise. Yeah. You know, they put the APTT, all praise to the Most High. That's what he said. All praises, brother. He been sarcastic right here. He said, hey, call Allah Yahweh Shemal Shah. I pray he actually do everything that you just said. I pray the Lord do bring back Jehoiakim. I pray the Lord do bring back the silver and gold that Nebuchadnezzar took from the temple. So Jeremiah is sarcastically agreeing with him because he know you ain't got it. That ain't what the Lord said. You got it out.
Verse 6 again. Even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen, Yahweh do so. The Lord Yahweh perform thy words which thou hast prophesied, to bring again the vessels of the Lord's house and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thy ears and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that had been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Mm-hmm. And I know that's a popular verse that we use often in Jeremiah 28 and 8. I know brothers usually start count with that, but the prophets that have been before what Jeremiah was saying and before the of old have prophesied both against many countries, kingdoms, so on and so forth, or war, evil, and pestilence. But now we see why he said that. He was talking to this prophet Hananiah, who was speaking good, that good was going to come. In which we know we live in a society where if somebody got a prosperity doctrine, come on, man, ain't no good coming to this current age we living in. But what's the reason Jeremiah said that in Jeremiah 28:28? Because Jeremiah, before him being a prophet and before Hananiah calling himself a prophet, all the forefathers who was prophets spoke about destruction. They spoke about reality kicking in, man. All hell breaking loose. People losing things. War. People dying. They ain't gonna come now. The good news is the kingdom. But before that, it's got to be a message of destruction. You see? We're not coming with a good message, man. Well, we got the, good news, but the majority of the message is a fearful message. You know what I said? When the Lord war shall people not fear.
Right.
There's this alarm going out, people fearing. But the point is, Hananiah ain't have it, just like we see these other camps. And they'll say, how y'all saying the Lord ain't dealing with us? Well, he ain't. And it sounds like a proud statement, but our forefathers of old, they told false prophets the same thing. The Lord ain't dealing with you. Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. The Lord ain't dealing with you. Just because you put on a garment, start a YouTube page, get subscribers, and do breakdowns, that don't make you a prophet.
Yeah.
You could act like a prophet, but that don't make you a prophet.
And even the Lord, he didn't pray for all of Israel. So he's not dealing with all of Israel, man. Okay, that's why he says in John 17:9, he says, I pray for them, talking about his disciples and those that believe the report. He says, I pray for them, but not for the world. Now, before that goes into the rest of the Wekemene, all right? Cosmos, that starts first and foremost with the cosmos of Israel. The Lord wasn't even praying for most of Israel, man. You see? So yeah, the Lord's not dealing with most of Jake. He wasn't dealing with most of Jake back then. He's not dealing with most of Jake right now. Okay, now he will in the kingdom of heaven. Once Jake, get into their right mind, as scriptures say, all thy children shall be taught of the Lord. We'll be in that new covenant. But as it stands right now, okay, the Lord is drawing a line in the sand, man. Okay, and that line in the sand is being drawn is through this doctrine. All right, I got a quick one for you.
You got it, bro.
You can break it down. This Sirach 20 and 22 in GNT. You can lose all your self-respect by being reluctant to speak up in the presence of stupidity.
Man, come on. So, but Jeremiah, he spoke up. He didn't hold back his words, man. Like what Yahushua said in John 15 and 22, if we didn't come and speak unto you, then you would be guiltless. But now that we telling you everything, telling these people everything, you don't have no excuse. You got the apostle, and people think it's like, well, he ain't got nothing else to talk about when he correct IUIC, when he correct Sakari, when he correct these different camps. People think the apostles got a problem, as if they don't have nothing else to talk about. No, these things have to be said. The false doctrines have to be corrected. The way these camps acting, it got to be put on the spotlight, so Israel know what not to follow and what message not to believe in. And therefore, if you still do it, guess who fault it is? Yours. It's gonna be on you now. Now you ain't gonna have no excuse because you was told multiple times what it is. That's why it's an issue, and the apostles and elders and brothers so diligent and stand on top of these other camps' doctrine. It's not just to aggravate them, just because we want to get a lesson into they know. You feel me? It's to defend the proper doctrine, man. So therefore, nobody gonna have an excuse. As you see in the title, we'll eventually see who the Lord dealing with, man. Who got the message?
Yeah. Hey, Elder Yashwama did your pod, Les Wills. They actually mentioned that camp a few months ago, but they had likened, the true prophets as like white blood cells. The role that the Lord, position our white blood cells to function in our bodies is to basically attack, foreign entities, that will be harmful to the body, man. So yeah, that's why the Lord, got his men, doing these correction videos. This is like white blood cells, man. Whatever comes into the body that's not supposed to be there, the Lord is attacking it, man, to kill it off, to get it away, And when it's all said and done, man, hey, Jake is going to be thankful for the prophets, in the kingdom that is. On this side, nah, but in the kingdom, bro, Jake is going to be thankful, for the diligence, for the sacrifice underneath Yahweh Shah, of course, but this is what we've been commissioned to do, You know, somebody's got to do it.
Mhm.
Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine? Okay, let's just hypothetically speak. If Great Millstone wasn't a camp, right? Like none of the, we didn't exist.
Mhm.
Can you imagine? Okay, with all this shit still going on in the world, having to rely upon Sakari or IUIC giving us explanations of Jacob's Trouble or the MOTB or the Chariot side. They're not even talking about the chariots, bro. I haven't seen one video about the chariots. Like, you should get excited as an Israelite seeing these chariots, man. Esau freaking out. That goes to show you these other camps, they don't believe in the vehicles of our salvation, bro. You know, what other camps you see brothers uploading videos, you know, looking at chariots. Oh, hey, call out y'all Bashamal shot. You know, they seeing chariots. You know, I don't see that. That's just me personally. I don't see it in these other camps. But in Great Millstone, we do. Because why? Because the Lord is dealing with us. We're not ashamed to say it. It's not prideful. It's not boastful to say it. Scriptures say in Jeremiah the 9th chapter, okay, what is that? Ye that boast in this, that you know and understandeth me, man. So that's what we boast in.
Mm-hmm. That's it, bro. You got it. And that's why it's not an issue calling false doctrine out, because we know it's the truth. But you got it, bro. Okay. Let's see who was right. Now remember, you know, the context of Jeremiah 28. This is Hananiah and Jeremiah in the temple in front of all Israel right here. The priest watching, the high priest watching, women, you know, men watching, or men and women, everybody watching. One of them said, "Good is coming. Don't worry, we good, y'all. All praises to the Most High." But Jeremiah said, a lot of people about to die. It's about to be wars, pestilence, so on and so forth. Let's see who was right.
God. Jeremiah 29:9. It's like 28:9. The prophet which have prophesied, so like the prophet which prophesieth of peace. When the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh have truly sent him.
So in other words, he said, look, all the prophets before us spoke about bad. But we're going to see if the Lord really sent you is if what you said actually happens. If it don't, then we can't believe you. You see? And that's, again, a lot of these camps, they foot about to be put in their mouth like Bishop Nate, bro. The closer we get to the end, the more obvious prophecy going to be. Now he got to try to backtrack and it's a karama. Yeah. No, it ain't no backtracking no more. Because what they saying ain't coming to pass. None of it's coming to pass. But what Great Millstone, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashim Hawashah, Bashim Chakwadash, what the apostles been teaching, guess what? Everything is literally happening. And if it's not actually happening, the world's being transformed into these prophecies being fulfilled. You got it out.
You know, yeah, these other, because these words is the scriptures liken it to a sword, man. You know, and these other camps, man, of the house of Saul, they're gonna fall on their own sword, just like Saul did, man. Yep. You know, you're cutting yourself. The more you try to retract and still go into the scriptures and try to justify your hellacious doctrine, man, bro, you cutting yourself more and more. You're gonna eventually fall on your sword. You know, going back to Jeremiah 28:10, it says, "Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and brake it. And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh."
No, you got a picture, bro. You got it. You got it.
Kind, yeah. It says, "And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Hawashah, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years." And the prophet Jeremiah went his way.
So look, so Jeremiah had the yoke, right? The wooden yoke on his neck. And because what's symbolic what? Captivity. Hananiah went in there. You know, he made a scene, bro. He made a scene as a nigga. He made a scene. He went up in there, went to Jeremiah, took the yoke off his neck, broke it on the ground, and said, I'm reading the NLT. Yeah. It says in the NLT, Jeremiah 28:10, then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke off Jeremiah's neck and broke it in pieces and said, as the crowd gathered around, "This is what Yahweh says. Just as this yoke has been broken, within 2 years, I will break the yoke of the oppression from all the nations, now subject to King Nebuchadnezzar." So he didn't even just say Israel. He said all nations about to be free.
Man, bro.
Small nations, rich nations, poor nations. Like, you know, it said, you morons. It says, but check this out. And with that, Jeremiah left the temple area. Jeremiah, he said, all right, Okay, I ain't got to tell you nothing else. We gonna see how it's gonna play out, and eventually, this is how it's gonna be for a lot of these camps. The Lord ain't gonna have us responding forever, doing reads forever, a read to the read. Eventually, the internet gonna get cut. Now you got to just live with what you said and what you fed these people, man. What do they say? The blind be leaders of the blind. Both of them go fall into the ditch. You know, but we can end it out on the NLT.
Okay.
All
right.
So Jeremiah just left the temple. Now check out, when Jeremiah left the temple, the Lord go come to Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 28:12 in the NLT. Soon after this confrontation with Hananiah, the Lord Yahweh gave this message to Jeremiah. Go and tell Hananiah, this is what Yahweh says. You have broken a wooden yoke, but you will have it replaced. So like it, but you have it. And let me read verse 13 again. It's like it. Verse 13 NLT. Go and tell Hananiah, this is what Yahweh says. You have broken a wooden yoke, but you have replaced it with a yoke of iron.
In other words, shit gonna get harder for y'all now.
Says the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies, the power of Israel says, I put a yoke of iron on the necks of all these nations, forcing them into slavery under King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. I have put everything, even the wild animals, under his control. Then Jeremiah the prophet said to Hananiah, listen, Hananiah, Yahweh has not sent you.
So was he wrong for telling him that?
That's the truth.
So was Jeremiah wrong for telling Hananiah the Lord ain't dealing with you? The Lord ain't send you. No, he wasn't. So when the apostles tell brother John ain't got the truth, the 100% truth, the Lord ain't dealing with you. You ain't a prophet. Israel get mad like, man, who are you to tell so-and-so the Lord ain't dealing with him? Ain't he an Israelite? Right, but that don't matter though. You had many prophets of old tell other false prophets, look, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. It's not a thing of pride. It's a thing of, it's just what it is.
It's true.
It's just true. Like Elder Ariana, it's just true.
I got a quick one for you.
You got it, bro.
1 John 4:3 in the NLT. But if someone claims to be a prophet and does not acknowledge the truth about Yahweh Shai, that person is Oslaki. Let me skip up here. Verse 2. It says, I just had it. I'll find it. Let me finish this in Jeremiah 23. It's in 1 John 4. Because the apostle John.
Shit, why you find out? I read it. Bro.
Okay. Oh, here we go. 1 John 4:6 in the NLT. But we belong to the Most High, and those who know the Most High listen to us. Ain't that sounds similar to what Elder Pastor Harvey saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, if the Lord dealing with you, if you the elect, you're gonna believe what we saying. So is this powerful what the apostle John was saying? It says, but we belong to the Most High, and those who know the Most High listen to us. If they do not belong to the Most High, they do not listen to us. That is how we know if someone has a spirit of truth or the spirit of deception. Man. And why can we say that so boldly and so confidently? Because we know that the Holy Spirit dealing with us, man. Point blank, period. And if you don't believe it, okay, well, that's cool. Just give it a process of time, and the Lord going to show you.
That's right, bro.
That's all it takes is just time. Me and the brothers talking yesterday, man. Hey, time is the greatest, bro. That's the Lord's, like, that's how he sifts everything is through time. Because only us mortals, we're bound by time. The Lord, he got nothing but time, man. You see, so he just let particular courses of events and, activities in the earth just play out, So it'll behoove you. Okay, like the apostles say, man, we're not trying to beg you, to believe. We just telling you. Because if we don't tell you, well, then we're going to get put to death. You got it.
Come on, man. Okay, well, we'll finish it out. This is in Jeremiah 28 in the NLT. Jeremiah 28 in the NLT says, verse 15, then Jeremiah the prophet said to Hananiah, listen, Hananiah, the Lord has not sent you, but the people believe your lies. Man. And that's a lot of these camps, bro. They have a lot of fight. We don't care. Yahweh Shai said, broad is the way that many go be brought to destruction. So that's cool. But the point is, a lot of people believe in these lies from these camps, and the Lord ain't even send them. Just because you dress up as a prophet, open a Bible, go live, do breakdowns, say, Ba'ashema Mashiach Yahweh Shai, don't make you a prophet. You see? You had the 7 sons of Sceva. Just because they seen Apostle Paul healing people and speaking in the name of Yahweh Shai, they tried to do it too. And it backfired eventually. See, everybody who fake being a prophet is going to backfire on you. It's not nothing. See, the true prophets know this ain't nothing to play with. And they don't just choose to do this. The Lord bring us into doing this. A lot of people choosing to do it, and they ain't doing it right. Like they ain't striving lawfully. They ain't doing it right. It's going to backfire on them, man. Especially because the message ain't 100% true. And for you to tell people you don't need the names, that's life and death. You telling people the MOTB ain't to see hip, bro, that's life and death. That's life and death.
But yet you got to have your fringes on.
Come on, man. Jeremiah 28:15 NLT. Then Jeremiah the prophet said to Hananiah, listen, Hananiah, the Lord has not sent you, but the people believe your lies. And therefore, so let's see what's going to happen to this false prophet. And therefore, this is what Yahweh says. You must die. Your life will end this very year because you have rebelled against the Lord. And 2 months later, the prophet Hananiah died. We're in a time, people ain't just going to be saying what they want to say forever. Doing what they want to do forever, especially within Israel. Remember, the Lord said judgment going to start at his house first, those who know the Israel. The point is, eventually, false prophets going to die or get judged. And you know what? When the Lord usually judge a false prophet or somebody who came against his actual prophets, it was a public judgment. Just like Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. When they were trying to tell Moses and Aaron, look, we leaders too. We famous men too. It was a public judgment. The 7 sons of Sceva, a public judgment. The Lord will eventually probably start judging a lot of these camp leaders with public judgments. Oh, and what that is, Ezekiel 9, when it says, go through the midst of the city, and those who don't have the mark of the Lord, that thou wilt kill them, right? When you read under that, the Lord said, and start with the leaders. Start with the leaders. So a lot of leaders and heads of these camps go eventually start getting judged, man. False prophets ain't gonna get away forever. Or the Lord might save them just for Jacob's trouble. Even if he let them get through Jacob's trouble, he's saving them for the missiles. The point is, the Lord eventually gonna touch every false prophet and let it be known who are his true prophets in the same way he judged the false prophets, man. You know, but that's it. That's all right. You have some more? Hey, with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, we'll see what the Lord dealing with. At the water Akin for the precepts, y'all pop precepts. But with that, we'll end it. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory once again unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Hakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and shit all all you Akim out there, keep fighting, keep pushing, as well as you believers. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.